Good afternoon, people. Goeiemiddag, mensen. Dat is deel 3. This is part 3, people. Let me show you first. Now, that can, or was a can, grinded pieces out of it. Ek het stukke uitgesny met die kantsny. Nou hier het ek een plastiek ingesit. Daar om te keer dat daar nie water op die lagte kom agter. That is to prevent water from splashing onto the lights from the back on the parking lights. That's one on the left hand side, and this one is on the right hand side, preventing water from splashing on the back side of the parking lamps. And then here I also did this to keep the water. I'm going to fill this up with oil, squirt oil in there, and tactile, and whatever else oily stuff. And then I put the pad back. Ek gaan die prop terugsit na ek tactile en olie daarin gespuit het. Maar dit is ook om te verhoed dat water spat daar oor en daar onderin. And that's to prevent from water to splash over there, down there. And the same on the left hand side. That's also done like that. And I've already squirted some tactile on her, on a screw holding the plastic piece of the plastic can. And then I'm squirt on this side, on die kant ook tactile and paraffin and olie and whatever, the oil, engine oil, into that hole, and from the front side too. And then I have to change the diff ratio, so I have to take the center part of that out, and to change the diff ratio from 4,875. I'm going to change it to a 3,899 ratio. Ek gaan dit verander na 'n ratio van 3,899 tot 1. And of course I was squirt in oil there in that hole too. So I fixed the sachet. Okay, nou dit is nou deel van dit, en nou kom ons by my window regulator storage. Now, some clever guy what he had done is these springs, they act like brake systems on the regulators to keep the window up. Dit werk as 'n remstelsel om die venster op te hou, dat die venster nie afkom. Dit is nog so 'n spring. So, nou wat die ou gedoen het is, wie ook al die technici was, whoever the technician was, he braided it together. Hy het dit vas aan mekaar gebraid. Of swish, wat ook al. Nou kan ek nie dit weer afkry. Now I can't get it off again. He threw this spring away, and he just fitted this straight into the drum like so. And now what happens is when I let go of the window behind the handle, as jy die venster handvatsel op en venster handvatsel los, dan draai die rad weer terug af onder, omdat hy nie 'n remstelsel het nie. Hierdie is die rem. Die spring binne-in is die rem. Jy kan nie dit sonder die spring laat werk. You cannot let it work without the spring. Okay, now what I've done here is the shafts get worn there in the front. So what I've done here was to cut the shaft off. Not this one, but this one. And those two. That one I've done, and a few others I've done. And then what I do is I take a drill, and I drill a 4.2 millimeter hole right in until about there, and then I tap thread into it right down to where it stops, and then I turn this Allen cap bolt right in, and I cut it off, of course, until it gets to there. It's about that much it turns in. Omtrent soveel wat indraai daar so, en het lock tight. Nou het ek en I cut the head off, dan sny ek die kop af, dan moet ek 'n nuwe as daar, 'n harde as, 'n tankstyle, high tank style as, hoë tank, high tank, ja, hoë tank style as, en daar in gedraai, and then how this works. Now with this one, I fixed it already. I took the worn part of the gear teeth, and I grinded it off with a grinder until it's like this, and there's very little teeth left, but they 100%. So all the worn part is now gone. I grind it off, and then I put it back in, and I fill the space up with washers, of course, and then the washer there. There's also a washer in. And what I've done here was, instead of a bush, I used a nut with one of these nuts with a washer integrated onto it. It's a washer nut, a wasernut, 'n moertjie. Dan uit die skouer, dan kan hy nie uitval. There's a shoulder, so it cannot fall out of there. Goed. Now, the way it works, let me show. I put the spring inside. Like so. Then I put this drum inside. And then I put the window winder handle in it. Like so. Okay. Now I hope you can see what happens. Ek hoop julle kan sien wat hier aangaan, wat hier gebeur. When you turn it, say we turn it up this way. Now what happens is this drum inside hooks onto the spring there, and then it pulls it, and as it pulls the spring becomes smaller, and it loosens from the outside of the stationary drum, and then it slides along with the handle. Okay, with the handle shaft, en saam met die as van die handvatsel. Nou hier kom ons rad oor. Nou, daai rad is nog nie gedoen nie. Kan nie pas daar oor. Goed, ons vat hierdie as hy pas hier oor. Op die gat grote boor. I must drill it bigger on that one. Now, that's what turns the window up. When you let go of this, the window forces back onto the spring. Now, what then happens is when it forces back onto the spring, wanneer dit terugforceer op die veer, dan druk dit op daai kant van die veer. Daar druk dit. And when it presses on that side of the spring, the spring runs this way, coils this way, then it forces the spring open, and then it presses tight against the stationary drum, and then it can't slide. Then it stops sliding. So when you turn it up, it slides up, pulls the spring smaller, and it slides up. When you turn it down, there's a piece of the other end of the spring, die ander punt van die veer spring is daar onderin. Then it pulls on that one. Hy trek aan die ander kant van die veer spring, en hy trek om weer nou, en hy trek om. So then it pulls on that side of the spring, and then it also pulls it closer together, the coils, and then it lets go of the drum, and it slides back, and it slides down. And then you leave it, and it comes to that spring there. That's an anti-counter spring. When it starts to put that up, the counter spring will tend to push the window up again when it gets to the bottom. And then that spring will turn the gear to force this gear this way. And then what happens is that gear will press on the other side of the spring, and it will open it up again, and it will lock onto this drum, inside this drum, and then it can't turn up. So it won't, if you turn it right down, it won't, this spring, counter spring won't be able to push it back up. And of course, if you turn it right up, the tension of the spring goes missing. It gets less, and then the weight of the glass will pull onto this gear, and tend to pull it down again. And then this gear will try to turn, and this gear will try to turn, and it will press on the other side of the spring, and it will also break because it opens up. So hy sal ook rem, want hy druk die veer oop. So albei die kante, as hy punte druk, gaan hy oop. Hy moet hom sleep. Hy moet die veer trek. It's the same as pushing a wire through a pipe. It's easier to pull the wire through the pipe than pushing it from the backside through the pipe. And that's how this also works. It tries to break the movement if you force a wire from outside of the pipe through. So it's better to pull the wire through the pipe. So this is how this works. Now I'm going to assemble this when I fixed. So kan die aan mekaar sit wat ek hier reg maak het. En die wasser kom nou daaronder. So, dan kom die drammetjie daar. Dan moet 'n speling wees so. Tussen die drum en die spring. There must be play between this inner drum and the ends of the spring. Either this way or that way. So that it can drag it. Okay, just put some of this grease in there. Then I put this gear in between. The washer is already there. So I already drilled the hole through. I'm not going to tack it again with a welder. I'll do thick welding on it. I'm just going to press it into its place like so. And put the bolt through, 4mm bolt. With that out. And nylon lock nut on this side. So greasy now. It's nou baie vetterig van die grease. So now that's on. Now we can check what happened here. White paint come onto the window and now I must get this thing to hook because it went beyond its limits. Dat het uit sy werkvermoë sig beweeg. En nou het dit uitgeglip. Het sy werkvermoëns uitgegaan. Uitgeglip en nou is die rat heel weg van die ratje. Let's see if it catches on. Oh, what fell down there? Oh, washer. Goed, daar is het gevat. Mooi. Nog een beetje grease. This is something you must service regularly. Je moet hem gereeld diens. Anders kan die rat opgee. Al die basiekies grease aansit. Die rollertjies. The rollers you can grease and oil on the rollers. Some oil on. I must put some oil on there. I think I did. See? Yeah, there's some oil on that. Now I must put it back into the door. I'm not going to show you how I struggle to get that thing back into the door. Gaan nie vir julle wys hoe ek sukkel om dit weer terug te kry in die deur. En dan moet ek van die ander regmaak. From the utility pickup. So I must fix this one as well for the utility pickup. As you can see, it works quite differently. Werk anders as die deluxe regulator. It works so. So you cannot swap the windows. And you cannot only swap, you must swap the windows and the regulators. So dis die regulator van die deluxe model. So the deluxe model has this type of window regulators. So I'm going to put it back in. Oh my, I must put some grease on there too. I'll see it slides on here. Nice. Good. Enough play between the ends of the spring. Daar is genoeg speling tussen die spring se ente. Want as hy te min speling daar het, dan bly dit toe. Hy moet speling hê daar. Let me see. This one is fixed. This one I haven't fixed. See, that's more, a little bit more than 5 millimeters to pass over. En over deze te gaan. Dan moet ek kyk waar die rad geslyp het. Dis op posisie, laat ek sien. So, I must turn this way to wind it up. Gear at one less on that side. Yeah, this one is the right one. Must come and get this shaft. So I must drill this gear out. Try this one. Okay, that's done. See if it fits over this shaft nicely. It's now drilled out. And it fits nicely over the shaft, the bolt, actually the bolt that's been turned in there en loctited, is daar binne geloctited. Goed, dan kan ek die ding daar sit. Nie daar nie. Ek gaan hom hier sit. So. En dan kan ek hom daar sit. En met die kyk dat die drums dit by daar gewees het. Die drum, dit was deze drum. So ek moet die spring in die drum sit. Ek spring uit die drum na. En dan in die drum sit. Waar is hy? In die drum. Dan so. Waar is hy? En dan kyk ek of hy hier in werk. En dit moet hierin pas. Aan die kant was dit nou. That's the thing on fix it. Kijk wat gaan aan. Wat is het probleem? Into its place, it must go into its place. There's no other place for it. Like that. Check the play on it again. There is enough in play. Good. Now I must try to clamp it in the vise. So, now oily hands. Ai. Kom aan. En daar. Goed, dan moet ek die boutjie indraai. Die boutjie kom van daai kant. En die muur kom van die kant. The nut comes from this side and the bolt from that side. Good. Hope it's tight enough. Right. Now that one must be there. Yeah. Good. Now I'm going to take it apart. Now look at it apart on. How's that? That is and that's tight into place. No, it doesn't want to come out again. What the heck is it? Okay. Now I must just clean this off the metal parts out of it. Metal parts. All the metal parts. I don't have a crema. Ek het nie 'n crema multool gereedskapmasjienkie nie. So met maar krap met 'n skroewedraaier. Scratch with a screwdriver to clean it off. Don't have a crema to grind it away. So now I must put some grease in there. Much grease. Like so. Nou waar is daai dan? Hier is hy. Grease hom as. Grease hier. Okay. That's one. That's both. Put this well done. Like so. I must see if this thing will do it. Stand a bad spot every time. Right. Let's see what happens now. Now that is it. And a cut. Goes off. That goes off. That goes off. Okay, nou daar boutjies afgesny. Cut the bolts off. Now cut the shaft off. Ja, shaft is off. Alright, nou kyk ons of dit werk. Nou, you see if it works. doesn't want to turn it down because the shaft is too long. Shaft is still too long. It doesn't want to turn down. It hooks onto the shaft. So I must wind it back and cut more of this, my shaft off. Good. See if this works. Right, misses the arm. There it touches the arm. See if it works now. Right, it misses the arm. That's it. Passes the arm. So now this regulator is also fixed. Good. Now then there's another one. There's another spring and the drum. Gear. Spring for the brake, the drum, the gear, and the input shaft or inner drum on which the handle comes. Dis dan vat sy wat hier kom op deze as. Goed. Daar ene is nou opgevoeter. En ek min my keer, there wasn't much wrong with it. Why they did this, I don't know. The gear was still fine. Trace together. Okay. So, dankie dat julle na deel 3 gekyk het. Thank you for viewing part 3 of this rebuilding of the LDV, a light truck, ligte handelsvoertuig, a ligte trokkie, pick-up, bakkie, whatever you want to, wat ook al jy dit wil noem, whatever you want to call it. It's then bye-bye en tot ziens tot volgende keer.